Hi, I'm Abdul, developer advocate at Okteto. And in this video, I will be demonstrating how to configure preview environments using GitHub Actions and Okteto. What are preview environments? Preview environments are isolated environments that are built on request. Most times when a pull request is initiated, these pull requests contain new code that needs to be merged. It could be a feature, it could be a bug fix. How do you then test it? How are you sure this is what you want to be merged into the production or the main branch? How can you verify? How can you share what you've built to other people? Traditionally, people, developers like to build locally, and okay, say it works on my machine, so it should work on yours, or the route using maybe ngrok or something. That can be stressful. For how long can you preserve these links? That's why you have preview environments. Here at Okteto, we use preview environments in our day-to-day activities. That is when we have new features, such as a landing page, for example. When changes are to be made, we create a pull request, a preview environment is built, the whole team reviews it. If it looks good, it's get merged into production. So in this video, I will be talking about how you can also configure preview environment to accelerate your development process. So when you are building a new feature, you don't have to always build a new image and send it, and a lot of stress is involved. So for this, I will be making a preview environment for this application, which I have already deployed. So first thing is going to log into our dashboard and use your GitHub to log in. We do not require payment. It's free for developers. And you can see I already deployed my application here. And when I click on the endpoints, I get to see a welcome message. And this is hello from the community. And now I intend to change this from hello from the community to hello from developer community. Am I sure the whole team is okay with it? Okay. So again, I could try to redeploy this, and but having to push directly to master is like a whole stress. Now, on the left hand side is the previews section. What does the preview section see? As you can see here, we have there are no preview environment. That is, whenever you have a preview environment active, you can monitor it from this place without having to stress yourself. So let's go over to our repository and start. So like I said, we need an action file, but we don't have anyone configured. So what do? We set up a workflow ourselves. So the first step is to name our workflow. We're going to say deploy in a preview environment, right? Preview environments, and we said we want this to be created whenever there's a pull request to the main branch, right? Okay. So the next thing is we're going to have a job, and we're going to name the job as preview. And now we have steps. What is the process of creating a preview environment from a workflow file? Of course, the first thing is to log into your Okteto dashboard and then deploy. So the first thing we're going to do is to log in, and we're going to have to remove all these default parameters here. And so we have the first one is login into your dashboard, right? And for that, we're going to use Okteto's login action file. But of course, we can't just log in like that. Do we need password? Do we need the username? But then you use a GitHub ID. How do you then manage this? We have what we call personal access tokens. These are tokens that enable you interact with Okteto's API. So we're going to say with a token, which we're going to save as a GitHub secret, as a repository secret. After saving this, we're going to create a personal access token, then save it as a secret so our workflow can access it. So it's going to be secrets.Okteto. We're going to use as Okteto token, right? And we have the first one. So what do we do in this step? We just use the Okteto logins action file, and we are going to log in with our Okteto token to give access, to create a preview environment. After logging in, what next? The next thing is to deploy your preview environment. And okay, what does he use? Likewise, we use an Okteto action, which is deploy preview. But then we can't just deploy that. We need a name for the preview environment namespace. Okay, so now how do we do this? We want a default name for this, right? So we can say with we can say we want this to be should we say preview environment? We want this to be the name youngest dev dash. This is a way to name. You can actually name it as long as you have this last dash and also the name of your namespace. But then, how is it easy to track? How do you, if you want this to be a sequential kind of naming, you could opt, then you maybe like you have a pull request with ID number 714, and you want a distinct name for each preview environment. How do you do that? So for that, we're going to have to use GitHub's so we're going to create GitHub. We have to invoke the GitHub token, right? And this is secrets. That's GitHub token. So now we are going to change this to pull request, right? Dash github.event.number. What does this signify? What is GitHub event number? Now, this is the pull request number, because if you have 5 preview environments at once, it means you have to deploy 5. If you have 5 pull requests at once, it means you have to deploy 5 preview environments. What happens when all your preview environments have the same name? It's become chaotic. How do you manage? How do you monitor them? It's a lot of stress. How about you create a pull request and you have a preview environment that is created with just the pull request name? So you have PR dash the pull request number dash your namespace. And if I go back to my dashboard here, go to namespace, I have my namespace with youngest dev. So I have youngest dev. Actually, everything looks good. But then when deploying preview environment, we have something called scope here. So for Okteto Cloud users, the default scope is personal. And so for timeouts, we are going to set this to 15 minutes. That is, your workflow should not exceed 15 minutes. Ideally, it is at most 5 minutes. And now that we have everything saved, let's do a quick recap. So the first thing we did was to log into the dashboard using Okteto's token. And the second thing is deploying our preview environment. And we said the preview environment should have namespaces name that have similar to this pull request number. So it is easier for you to monitor and differentiate them. With that in place, we're going to name this as preview. And we're going to commit immediately. Commit a new file. Okay, this is in place. Okay, we want to make a pull request, want to change something. How does it work? How are we sure it works? That's when this comes to play. So now I want to test it. But before testing, when writing the preview environment file, I made mention of Okteto token that we have to configure it. So now we have to create an Okteto token. We go back to your dashboard. We click on settings. Developer settings, you have personal access tokens here. And look at what personal access tokens are. It says these are tokens generated, so you can use them to Okteto's API. Right. So now we need a new token for this. So we're going to create a new token. I'm going to call this preview environment. When you generate a new token, you copy it, right? You go back to your repository, you go to settings. On the left-hand side, you have a menu. You go to secrets, because it's a repository secret. You can expose it anyhow. Create a new repository secrets and Okteto token, right? And now you save it and you add your secrets. So everything is in place. Good. And now we want to make changes to our preview environment. We want to make changes to our application. And we are going to change this to hello from, let's say Okteto's developer community. Right. But because we want this action to trigger, so we're going to create it as a pull request. So say preview environment test, right? And we propose these changes. And now we're going to say testing the preview environment. And now we create a pull request, and the pull request is immediately triggered. And now we can see that the workflow is triggered, and you can go to details. And now you can monitor the workflow as it proceeds. The first thing it does is to log into Okteto, then build the application for you. And so once this is done, we have a GitHub bot. The GitHub bot automatically comments on your preview on your pull request and tells you that, okay, yes, your preview environment with this name has been deployed, and the endpoints for your application can also be viewed here. Okay, so this is working, and we can see. Okay, we're almost done building the application. Okay, so once it's done, okay, so you can see that we are now deploying your preview environment. Now you can go to, okay, we're done here. Now you can go to your previews environment here. And your preview environment, which is currently being deployed, is shown here. Now, what do you have here? You have the name of the preview environment that was created. What branch was it created from? What pull request number was it created from? Who is the owner? Endpoints here will show immediately your endpoints have your application has been built and endpoint has been assigned. They will display here. When last was this pull request updated? When last was this preview environment updated? It shows here. So it's easier for you to track changes. How long has it been? From what branch? Who created pull request? So it's easier for you to do all this. Likewise, you can also monitor this here and see the process of it is waiting. So now when you open a preview environment here, you have access to your application and you can see it's also building. And you can see the application here, 1, 2, 3. You have a deployment, a stateful set, and a volume. When you go back, you have an endpoint deployed already. So when you hover around it, you have the endpoint is displayed. That is, you can visit this endpoint and see the changes. Now when you click on open, and you go back here, you can see the endpoint which was generated. And when you click on this, you can see hello from Okteto developer community. That is, yes, it worked. The preview environment was deployed with the changes you made. Oh, cool. That is interesting. When you go back to your action file, and you can see your preview environment has been deployed. Okay. Then you go back to your conversation here. Like I said earlier, we have the actions bots comments that, okay, yes, your preview environment with this name. When I click on this, I get my preview environment has been deployed. Oh, I want to access it without having to log into my cluster. The endpoint is here. You click on it and it deploys the endpoint. If you have more than one endpoint, all these endpoints are also deployed. Okay, good. I like this change. So I feel like I'm going to merge it. But then, what becomes of the preview environment when I merge the change? It just becomes stagnant, redundant. What happens to space memory? That's a lot. That's a lot. And you want to delete these preview environments immediately you're through with them. So what do? Just as you created a workflow to deploy, you also create a workflow to destroy. So now we're going to say this is for destroying preview environment. But this time around, when a pull request we are not making changes to branches. So what do you want to do? We're going to add new types and on close. That is, whenever you close a pull request, run this particular action, right? So now we are going to change this again to like closed, and of course we have different steps. So this time around we have 3 steps, and the first step is to check out. That is, you want to like make sure everything's in place and check out there. And for this we are going to use actions checkouts master. And for the second step, what we want to do is to log into your Okteto namespace, just like we had done before. So we have login, and from our previous this is we use Okteto login master. And with what do you use to log in? With the token. So we have our token, and this is secrets dot Okteto token, and that's good. So what is the next step? We want to destroy the preview environment. How do you do that? We're going to, when we're deploying the preview environment, we used Okteto / deploy preview. So now I'm going to use Okteto / destroy preview. So this is going to be deleting your preview environments. And you have uses Okteto destroy preview with what? That's what's going to delete the name. Remember, I said we're going to use pl dash GitHub .events .number dash name of your namespace. In this case, it is youngest dev, and that's all. So a quick recap of what we did here. So now, when you are deploying a preview environment, you see whenever there is a pull request to the main branch, trigger this. But now when a pull request is closed, what you need to do is delete whatever preview environment was created, because we are creating preview environment for every pull request made. So now once it is closed, whether it is merged, it is changed, or it is it is closed, delete preview environment. We don't want any redundant resource. And for this, we log in first, then we delete it. So now I'm going to test it, right? We're going to change this to closed. And we start our commits, and we commit this file. Okay, we'll go back to the pull request. All looks good. And, the team is happy about it. So we're going to like merge this and confirm merge. Good. Everything's in place, and I can go on ahead to delete branch. I go to my actions section. I can see, yes, the pull request is undergoing the delete process. Okay, so we just wait. The first thing it does is to log in. Once it has logged in, the deleting of a preview environment is interestingly faster than deploying. So now we can see that the preview environment has been destroyed. So we go back. How do we confirm? Let's go back to our previews. And we have no preview environments deployed because now we have deleted this. And so we don't have to worry about any resources being wasted or manually deleting. And, it is much more easier. So now let's do a recap. We say preview environments are isolated environments that are built on request, most times pull request, and they contain an application built solely on the code that wants to be merged. And we said preview environments are essential in the development process because in situations where you want to observe the change and be sure that there are no breaking changes, you want reviews, instead of having to locally build an image, then sending through the CI server and a lot of stress. You don't have to do that. Okteto is here. You have your preview environment automatically built once you have your repository configured. So that's how it works. And so I would like you to try to configure your preview environments and tell me how you use it. In the last community call, we had Octobot tell us how they use their preview environment, and they had a different method, and it was really amazing. And because we would like you to deploy a preview environment, tell us how you use it in your own repository in your company, and give us feedback as we always like. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please do like, share, and subscribe. We update our YouTube every week, so we would like you to stay tuned. On the 26th of August, we'll have our community call. Please tune in as we're demonstrating yet another feature. Thank you.